Hi guys, hello, good evening on this Friday evening. I hope you saved some time to watch this interview tonight because this one is going to be so much fun, so much fun. And with technical difficulties, we are a little bit late. Very sorry for that. I'm very excited about this, and hopefully, you are too, and you're going to join us and watch. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, okay. My usual viewers are here already. Woohoo, awesome. First of all, she's back. Yes, hello, Navid. Good to see you here. She's back from Africa. Woo! She is back, and as you know, I've been to Kenya on a safari, which was awesome. And the lady I am interviewing tonight, she has also been to Africa. She actually climbed the Kilimanjaro for a charity cause, which is incredible. That's just one of the amazing stuff that they've done. And there she is. Okay, Caroline, perfect. Um, can we hear you? Can we test?
Testing, testing. Oh, thank
Yes.
goodness. I couldn't sign
Yes.
on. It was doing that rotate thing again. So awesome.
We're here. It's fun. It's great. That's Caroline Ainslie, and let me do some introduction first, maybe. And so we're gonna do the story then, and at the end, guys, wait for the end because the end is going to be super fun. And I will not swear during this one, so you can bring your kids on. Hello, Wendy. Hey, Marty. And just make them watch this because this is going to be great. If you have friends with kids, bring them on as well. So, Caroline is an award-winning maths entertainer and multiple Guinness World Records title holder. She's an electronics engineer too, who at the age of 42 decided to dedicate her life to spreading her love of mathematics, and her life's purpose is to engage children to stop hating maths and start loving it. Oh my God. She's delivered talks, shows, and workshops around the world and has even climbed Mount Kilimanjaro to achieve this. She's currently working on her first book and is writing an online course so more children can benefit from her work. Lost connection. I think it's working for us, Wendy. So maybe it's somewhere on, I don't know, on your side. Yeah, because it seems to be working on my side. Oh, Lori, great to see you here. Fantastic. You're here from watching from South Fun. Super duper. Okay, awesome. So, engineer. Right. That's what I like. Female engineers. Woo! I'm so glad we met by the way, and obviously a total coincidence. Right, so let's get started. First of all, let's share your bank code, so your personality code, and this is actually very interesting because well, Caroline is an engineer and she's teaching math, but her first letter in her personality code is not the knowledge type. So she actually is, that's not the reason why she's teaching math to kids is more connected to her first personality trait, which is the nurturer. So Caroline is mostly the nurturer and then the action taker. So it's an NA and then she's a K, then she's a knowledge. And obviously, as with I think all my guests and most of my viewers, the last one is B. Lori is an engineer too. Fantastic. Yeah, female engineer. Yeah, power to the girls. Lori, you want to stay on this one because that's going to be awesome. Right. So we've got an NAKB, and she's still using a lot of her K, but a couple times I made some comment about her being a knowledge type, and she definitely declined that. Okay, there's going to be some links to what we're talking about at the end, so stay tuned. And right now, let's start. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time for the second time to meet with me here, because last time we were trying to do this 3 weeks ago, but all Facebook went down and we weren't able to go through with it. And still we have a lot of viewers. It's a Friday evening and we do have viewers, which is excellent. So let's just start. So first of all, what did you study? Maybe let's start with that.
Electronic engineering.
And how did you start a job as an engineer? I mean, what led you to all these incredible decisions that you made afterwards?
I wanted to be a performer. And when I met, my dad was a mechanical engineer. So at worst case, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer like my daddy. And then I met someone who was going to become an electronic engineer, and he said, you can't make money performing, you have to become an electronic engineer. It's the way of the future. Not mechanical engineering, it must be electronic engineering. Well, if any of you know what a resistor is, I couldn't even remember. Yeah, well, at that time, he was telling me about, I was helping him make boards and soldering and things, and I enjoyed that, I have to say. But I couldn't remember even the name. I didn't know a capacitor from a balloon pump. So it wasn't a vocation to going in for it. It was my boyfriend saying, no, you've got to do this. You cannot make money performing. You cannot make a living performing. This is the way to go. So I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. My parents are both engineers too. So, but I enjoyed it. So I knew I wanted to do it, and then I developed some other skills. Right. So how long did you stay in a technical job, let's say?
I worked as an engineer, just pure engineer, for 5 years, and I would stare out the window again. I think I just want to become a gardener or a forest ranger, because I just wanted to be outside of that office. And
Wow.
then I thought, well, I need a more people job. So I became a sales engineer, but that didn't work for me either. So I kept that, and then he and I both went self-employed, and what I ended up doing was buying and selling things. Like, we would buy things at auction, and then it was my job to identify them. So we'd get this big crate full of things, and it was my job to take them apart and sell the components and do all that and identify a box that had no identification on it at all. It was quite fun, really. So we did that for a few years, and then
Yes, and
you,
then
you're back to you again. Did that
no,
for until the age of 40, up to the age of 42. That's what I was doing.
right,
First,
42.
yeah, the
Being
answer to life, the universe, and everything. By the way.
right, right. Okay, and then at the age of 42, what
Another
happened?
electronic engineer, a quote from another electronic engineer. Douglas Adams, it's a book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. It's called Restaurant at the End of the... No, it's called, the first one's called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes. I was trying to, yeah, I'm planning to watch the movie, actually, on that one.
Read the book.
No?
Read the book.
Okay, then I'll read the book.
Read the book.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So what happened? What was your tipping point when you were 42?
So, when I was 42, there were lots of reports on the radio, television, newspapers that spoke about children that were leaving school without math skills, with adults who were floundering in life because they were innumerate. And every time I heard it, I'm like, oh, that is so sad. Because this is confession time. I'm actually not that good at maths.
Did you hear that?
I was really lucky in that I always treated it as a game, and clearly I wasn't defeated by failure. I had the resilience that if you fail, you get up, you go again until you get it. And I would pester my teachers and ask again and again until I understood it. And then the next day I might have forgotten it again. So then I'd have to ask it again. And so we'll come back to that in a minute. But I enjoyed it. I treated maths as a puzzle. I love puzzles. I love doing physical puzzles. I love doing riddles. I love doing all those things. And I treated maths as the same kind of puzzle. I just treated it, when you get a puzzle book and you go through it and solve the puzzle, well, that's how I treated my maths book. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed it. And I thought it was absolutely tragic that children, and I thought this is not right, that anyone should hate a subject that you don't have to be the best at it, but that doesn't stop you from enjoying it.
Right. So, and I want to say it's a very strong nurturer in you, because guys, did you hear Caroline just heard about the children, and then her heart literally jumped at that, even though she wasn't good at math. So that's a very strong nurturer in there. And then there's an action taker And I think the next thing that you did was you met that lady.
So I sold a scooter to a clown on eBay. So I sold it to a person, and then I discovered she was a clown, and I was like, a clown? I'm speaking to a clown. So I was emailing back and forth with questions about being a clown, because I love clowns. I've got goosebumps just thinking about it now. As a child, I didn't go to the circus to see the trapeze or the juggler or anything like that. I went to see the clown. That was my thing. And I went to the circus, and I knew that that clown loved me, and I definitely loved that clown. And
Which is
so,
very rare, by the way. It's quite rare to love clowns. Usually it's the other way around, as you learned at a later point in time.
now blame that on the journalists too. The journalists led me to my vocation, but they also, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Right.
Da, 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 da.
So you met the clown, and that got an idea in your head, right?
It was a thunderbolt. It was so the first thunderbolt, the first epiphany, was realizing I wanted to do something to help about this problem with people not
Right.
succeeding in maths. So I signed up to a local library to see, so I could do tutoring or something. And then that same week, I sold an item to a clown on eBay, and I was emailing back and forth, and I was like, another thunderbolt, another epiphany. If I'm a clown, then I can attract children to the clown and then do maths with them and make it fun. And that way, that's a way around, because there's no way they're going to say, hey guys, come on over, we're going to make some fun maths. They're like, yeah, right. They run the other way. But if they're attracted to a fun activity, then you do the maths with them. And that's where the idea came from.
Right. So you got the idea to become a math clown. I want to state this because
Yeah. That was that was the dream, to become a maths clown.
Right. And then I think you went to a clown convention and you met the lady who.
First I left my husband first. As soon as I realised I wanted to be a maths clown, I left the man that made me become an electronic engineer. Freedom! So yeah, once I embarked on my journey of doing, the first thing I had to do was learn how to be a clown, because I didn't know how. So I ended up at a clown convention. In the meantime, I had learned how to make balloons, because when I asked the clown lady, I don't know her name, what skills I needed to learn, she said, you need to learn how to do balloon modelling and face paint. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I said clown, not children's entertainer. But I thought, well, okay, I may as well. I didn't have any other ideas, so I got some balloons and I got a pump, and I turned out I had a natural ability for balloons, which I enjoyed, so that was good. And then I had to do the clowning, so I went to my first clown convention, and I went to a session on clowning in schools. So I thought I'll learn something there. And during the session, a woman stood up. She said, hello everyone, my name is Hattie Maths. I am a maths clown and I want to retire. And I can't find anyone to train up to take over from me. Well, you've never seen someone jump up so quickly and say, that's exactly what I want to be in, will you please train me? So, and it turns out that she wasn't just, because there are other people that clown with maths, and they would have been like I would have been back then. I would have just been doing whatever I knew without having any math special any knowledge about truly how to facilitate the learning of maths. Whereas Hattie was actually a math learning expert. So and with all the mathematical thinking, there's ways that the brain works and things, and there's ways of facilitating it to draw the ideas out of the learner rather than to teach. So it's not going that way. It's actually, I'm not pushing it in, they are pulling it in.
Right. I was actually watching a show about this today. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So how the universe works, guys, how the universe works. 1 week, math, clown, seeing something on TV, then going for a convention, and then finding
Well, that was a year later. It was a year later by the time I found Hattie
I know,
Maths,
but
but
they take time.
yeah.
They take
But
time.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so you did that, and you became a math clown, right? I don't remember the next important point of the story. You're gonna need to help me out here because I kind of got my mind stuck with.
The next
Well,
important point of the story was what Hattie did was Hattie dealt with cards and lots of mathematical thinking, and because she was so experienced at it, she could facilitate this in an entertaining way for a bunch of kids. She meant she'd use cards and they had to see the pictures and come up with ideas and a couple of little games, but I didn't have her expertise, so I actually found that quite hard. And anyway, she said, go to this maths conference. So I went to the maths conference. She wasn't there, and they had me folding paper, origami. We were doing lots of different sessions, and it was origami. And I thought, I know how these kids feel now that hate maths, because I hate origami. I was like, I couldn't fold it straight. Everything just, and it needed so much patience. I can sit and make a 30-meter balloon like model, no patience required. I just love it. I'll just do it because I've got the whole
wow,
thing in my head and I'm making it happen. You asked me to
wow.
do origami. That's suffering. That is horrible. I didn't like it. So then I thought,
I
wait
actually
a
spent
minute.
all my childhood making origami because I was sick and I was making origamis. I have all the books and I was making origamis.
I think if I'd have been in bed,
But I
if
still
I'd had to
love.
be, if I wasn't allowed to move, I'd have probably, I might have enjoyed it. But
Right.
it wouldn't be, it's not my choice. So I thought, well, I've got my balloons and I've got my pump. Let's do something with balloons instead. So I started making the same shapes that we were making in origami, but out of balloons. And that's where the idea of doing maths, making maths fun with balloons, and now this came from Hattie.
Straws? No, those are not straws. Guys, the
Yes,
magic is
they
about to
are.
happen. We're gonna
Yes,
use the
way.
balloons. So ready, stay tuned.
Way. Come on, you. I've got a bucket here. I've got a big bucket down here. Hey, come on. Da-da. Here we go. I've got a towel over here too.
I'm so excited. What? Oh,
Soap
okay.
bubbles. I use soap bubbles and balloons to get the kids thinking. We do lots of puzzles and games,
That's
and
pretty awesome.
and just, if you ever thought that a balloon was always spherical.
Round. Wow. That
Oh,
was
here we go.
interesting.
You didn't see this last time.
No, I didn't. What? How do you do that?
I don't do it. Science does it. Nature does it. It happens automatically. And as you can imagine, it's extremely engaging for young
Yes.
people who, like, I don't like maths. Yeah, but you like this.
Let's do more.
And that's it. Absolutely. I've got lots of small shapes. I'm now going to release the sphere. Ready? Wait. Woo! Oh, my goodness. There's a huge sphere coming down. Is it good? Yes!
Oh.
There it is.
Oh my God, this is so much fun. Incredible. Okay, so you get your bubbles and you get the balloons. First, maybe, okay, so let's see what you're doing now. Because so right now, in the autumn, in the autumn, yes, in the autumn you're planning on breaking the Guinness record.
Yeah, one of the methods we use, we've got two things we do on a regular basis, because I've got a team of people I work with with Guinness World Records. It started off with building a giant pyramid. I'm going to show you what the foundation, the block is for that in a second. But it's basically it's a fractal, which is a large shape made out of lots of identical smaller shapes and increasingly small size, or decreasing size, and we got the idea of making it, it's part of our workshops. We do a big one with giant, it's so big you can't even see, with giant, bigger than that, balloons, meter length basically. There you go, meter length balloons, and And we do that for our workshops because we can put it up quickly, it's easy to make, and it's very impressive for not too much effort. But for the world record, you have to be you have to be much more meticulous, much more detailed. And so we decided we were going to make this shape. And we started wanting to make one that's 32 meters high, and in the end, okay, we'll make one that's 16 meters high. And we thought, well, it's so big, we'll do it outdoors. Anyway, it was a big disaster. Sun, wind, it didn't work. We've got some very wonky pictures of it. I can post them on the thread below afterwards. I'll see the massive wonky pictures of this wonky pyramid that was half the size, well, 1/8 of the volume it was supposed to be. And so that was a journey. We kept going on that journey until we finally, in 2014, I met the it was 2015, I don't know. I met the editor-in-chief of the Guinness World Records book, and I showed him my pictures of what we'd been attempting. He goes, could you make that between now? He had like 2-month window to do it. I'd love that in the next book, because we're doing balloons this year. Wow. And I'm like, we're not going to be able to build that. He says, could you build a smaller version in our head office? I'm like, yeah, definitely. So 10 of us got together, and I'll post a picture of that as well. And it took us 5 hours. And because it was a new record, we established a new record. So so we got our Guinness World Record. Yes.
Wow, awesome. So that was your first one. That was your first Guinness record.
Actually, I've got 2 world records. One's in bubbles, but it's for mass participation one, so I don't really count that one. But the other one, no, the real ones. We're going to now break our own record on December the 13th. We're going to break our own record, and that's so basically just make it twice as long. But we're going to need, instead of 10 people, we'll need about 50 people. And so December the 13th, and we're going to make it Christmas tree. The idea is we're going to make a Christmas tree. It's a fractal, and we're going to ask people from all over the world to send in, just children, to decorate just a piece of paper that's either a fractal or a Fibonacci sequence or something mathematical to decorate the tree with. And yes, we're going to make a Christmas tree, but actually that's a pagan. It's not about Christianity. It's a pagan. Originally, it was a pagan thing. So the idea is that we want art from all over the world, from all creeds, from all religions, just to represent children from all around the world, to decorate this tree, which will be about 10 meters, well, about 9 meters high, awesome. 10-meter edge length.
And then you want to do the largest math class in the world. Because you're doing workshops in various places all around the world, and you need volunteers. So we want to encourage people to join the math class. We will post the details in the comments. You can post the details in the comments, because that's going to be the largest math class in the whole world, and everybody has to join.
Global Maths Lesson. It's GBL, Global Maths Lesson. We're doing it on Global Maths Day, or Math Day, because it's the Math Day is American, on 10/10, on the 10th of October. And it's something we've done every year. We've done it, the Maths and Science of DNA, we've done the Maths of Sport, of Bubbles, we've done the Maths of, don't remember everything we've done. But this year it's on fractals, because, for those of you that don't know, Alex is Polish, and the shape that we've got the Guinness World Record in is called a Sierpinski. I got that right. Sierpinski. What she said. Vashwa. I don't know. Anyway, it's named after a Polish mathematician, because he's the one that did the initial research, and he's credited for the work on it. And this year is the 50th anniversary of his death, so we are commemorating his life. It won't be I think he died on the 24th of October, but it will be in 2019, and we're commemorating the 50th. We're celebrating his life on the 50th anniversary of his passing.
Awesome. Wacław Sierpiński. Right.
That's what.
So
That's what.
that's fantastic. We're gonna post details because you guys want to join, and then the World Guinness Records people are, quite detailed, and everything has to go as planned so that it really counts. So bring your kids, and you can just join the lesson.
There,
Caroline will put details
yeah,
in the comments.
there there'll be two levels of participation. One is the detailed Guinness World Record, which will require, I think it's at minimum 25 participants in each lesson, and the teacher has to be qualified, and it needs all kinds of people, witnesses and timers and documents to sign. Or we'll be doing a Facebook Live. You can simply do it as a small group for fun. So it's for fun
Right.
or for Guinness World Record. But let me tell you, that Guinness, well, if you apply for a certificate of participation, Guinness aren't going to say no. Let's put it that way. But the other thing is you'll get a certificate of participation officially from us. All you have to do is send us in a picture. If you register with us, send us in a picture. Even if you haven't registered, send it in afterwards. And we will send you a certificate of participation. All we ask is that the picture be something that we can put on our website and social media, so that we can
Awesome.
show everybody
Awesome.
how much
I
fun
have
we all
some
had.
teachers. I have some teachers on Facebook. I'm gonna notify them. And guys, if you have teachers who might want to do the class in their class of at least 25 people, that's gonna be awesome. We're just going to contribute to this excellent cause. And now to the fun part, as promised. So Caroline used the word fractals, 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 fractals a couple times already. And she's going to explain to us using balloons what a fractal actually is. So again, could you give the definition one more time?
So a fractal is a shape that's made out of many similar, that don't even need to be identical, smaller shapes of decreasing size. So I'm going to start off with
As this one, for example, is very fractal. Let me.
I'm sorry?
I just want to.
I can't hear you.
I don't think you can hear me.
Oh, squeaky. I'll keep them away. No.
Oh, there.
It's fine. Okay, so this is the fundamental pyramid. This is the shape. So in this particular instance, this particular shape, the Sierpinski tetrahedron, it is made up of this shape. Now, so that's, in this case, this is a stage 0, so it's the fundamental. There's no other smaller shape of it, although we could have made it with 4 identical smaller ones, but we're not doing that. It would take too long to do the world record, and we actually want to achieve it. So, sorry, I'm doing it over here. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we've got
fractal that you see in real life is a snowflake. So guys, I don't know if you know this, but every snowflake consists of smaller snowflakes. If you ever take a look, there's a couple of legs, let's say, and each of them consists of a smaller leg. So it's hard to explain. Maybe Caroline will be able to explain it better. But your snowflake.
The snowflake is kind of like a curve. It's essentially, so there's many things that are fractals. Rivers make fractals. The coastline makes fractals, especially if you look at Norway. It becomes more obvious. You've got the fjords, and then you've got the little rivers leading off of that. Ferns are fractals. Clouds are fractals. They're a larger shape made out of lots of puffs of smaller condensed water. What else is fractals? The roots of a tree, your lungs, your circulation system. These are all fractals. So a tree is a fractal. So both above and below ground, a tree is a fractal. So you see the big trunk, and then you've got the smaller branches, and then off of there you've got the smaller branches, and then you've got the twigs, and then you've got the little stems. Leaves, if you look at leaves themselves, the veins on leaves, they're fractals. So they don't have to be identical. It's a bigger shape made up, or structure made up of lots of smaller, similar structures. So the moment we've got, so this is actually one of the puzzles that we do. We do a lot of puzzles in our workshops. So we want children to, sorry. We want children to, I need a unidirectional microphone so I can do this more comfortably for everybody.
Actually, we can hear you very well.
Sorry?
We can hear you very well behind the speaking, at least, yeah.
Thank goodness for one of these. So this is the puzzle as we present it. So someone has to sit here and make it, or we, as a workshop, we'll get them to actually get to this point and then go around and make sure everyone's actually got it correctly. And now from this, they've got to work out, instead of having one small tetrahedron, we need to have 4 tetrahedra. There are many different ways of making this puzzle. This is one of them. And I'll let you have a look. So there's the tetrahedron there, and all we have is 2 triangles, 2 triangles, and 2 triangles. And then we have to figure out how to join them together so that you then have, hey presto, 1 more tetrahedron. So now we've got 1, 2 tetrahedra. And now we've got to bring that one over to this one. And then you just push them around. Now this is for older children and adults, and what we do for this workshop for younger children is we use long balloons, and all they have to do is join the ends together, and it's really easy to do. They just end up just twisting them. They get familiar with it very quickly. Now this one I'm just going to show off for a minute.
Wow!
That's magic. It's got to be. It can't be done any other way.
I can see a lot of
now we have,
experience.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, and you can see the shape coming through. So that 2D version of it is also a fractal. So it's a larger triangle made up of 1, 2, 3 smaller triangles. There is another one there, but that's made up of, that just happens because you're joining 3 triangles together. And this is the Sierpinski tetra. That's interesting. And challenging. What's happened? That's weird. Right. Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I managed to do that. But anyway, it's fixed now. And the last one, put that on there. And this, so we started off with a stage 0 tetrahedron. And we have now got every face is still a triangle. Every face is identical. It's made up, and underneath as well. And it's the same shape. It's just the same shape made up of 4 smaller tetrahedra. So this is a fractal. This is now a stage 1 fractal. And the structure we're going to make in December is going to be a stage 6, I believe. I keep forgetting. And every time you make it, it doubles in size. And so to make a larger one of these, you need 4 of these. And then to make a large one of that, you need 4 of them, which then takes 16 of these. And it's a geometric progression. So
it grows like yeast, quick like yeast. You know, it just explodes. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeast. How yeast grows is actually not geometric, it's exponential, I think. Like it grows super, super quickly.
Yeah. Does anyone know how many times? Does anyone know how many times you have to double a meter to reach the moon? How many times, if you double a meter, how many times you double it to reach the moon? No calculators allowed. Have a guess. Just any guess. So any comments? Anybody going to comment?
How many times do we have to double the meter?
Double a meter to reach the moon. Just come up with it. Now you're on the spot now. If nobody else is guessing, you have to guess.
Okay,
I had no idea until I worked it out.
I don't know.
The skills.
100?
That's actually a very reasonable guess. It's 3. By the way, it's like 385 million meters away. So it's actually 28 meters. But it's not 28 meters. It's more than that. 28 times. I mean, of course, it's not 28 times. It's more than 28 times. It's
Wow.
more than 28 times. I said it wrong. It's not 28 times. It's about 28 and a third
Right.
times. That's it.
Wow.
Double the meter
Wow.
28 times, or 29 times you go way beyond the moon. 28 times you're a bit short. 28 and a bit times, and you have reached the moon. That's it. 28 times. Compounding, man, is the key to wealth generation. So there's your.
Exactly. That's
So
the
we're
key
going
to
to make.
wealth generation. See, exactly, because that's how you double your money, double your money, double your money, and finally you're going to be a millionaire faster than you think. This always happens faster than you think, basically, if you invest it properly. Yeah.
So
Beautiful. That's
fractals. There's lots of geometry and lots of lovely ideas that we do around fractals and lots of workshops. And yes, we'll be making lots of these on December the 13th.
perfect. Okay, to wrap it up, this was awesome, guys. Let us know what you thought. I think it was absolutely fantastic. Woo!
Should we do this one?
Another bubble? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. I wonder what it's going to look like. Are they going to connect in the middle, in the center?
I've just got to wet all the faces in my bucket that I've got on the floor down here. Here we go. Where's my towel? Lost my towel, never mind.
Right. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, and it looks the same from any angle.
No, it doesn't. It's because gravity, the square in the middle is. Let's see if I can actually. Have you got it there? Come on, make it bigger.
We can see the
I want
square.
it bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
No, that's a hole?
Yeah.
Oh boy, wow.
Woo!
That is crazy. Oh my God, can I interview you every week? This is so much fun.
Right, that's it. I haven't even shown you the cubic bubble.
Right, cubic bubble. Wow.
Do we have time for the cubic bubble?
Yeah, guys, do you want to see the cubic bubble? That sounds like something from a Disney movie, honestly.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
You know, because Dumbo, remember the movie Dumbo? He was making bubbles.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet. I can't. I've got my friend Sam was making them for him. I mean,
that's
I'm sure
the
it was
old
Sam.
I'm talking about the old version, like the 70s.
Oh, the old version.
Dumbo was making
well, they
square
make real bubbles in the new one.
Right.
Can you see it?
Yes. That's the same as it was, right?
No, it was 2D before. Now it's 3D.
Oh, okay. So there's a what's the name of that? A cube in the middle.
It's a cubic bubble. It's not a cube because the edges aren't straight.
Okay. Yes. Crazy. Wow.
There you go.
Oh boy.
A cubic bubble.
Am I really seeing this? Guys, are you seeing this? It is fantastic.
There you go. I'll finish now.
Wow. I'm hot now, okay? This is engineers all over the world are going to be like, love it. Right, okay, we need to wrap up now. This is so much fun. So Caroline will post all the links that you need. And then, think about the teachers who may want to join the class with their pupils, so that we can contribute really to the the Guinness record. And also, we had a question: what age groups are eligible for the Guinness record?
So, the anything from 5 to 15, there will be activity. The basic lessons, 30-minute lesson, and the basic lesson is quite simple. They'll need adult help if they're younger, but it's a very simple thing to do. It's just more prep by the adults beforehand for the younger ones, and it just won't be as precise. But there'll be activities, follow-up activities available after on the day or after the day for people of all different ages, so age-appropriate activities. And then, but on the days, the one thing you need to know is Central European time, it'll be on at 6 p.m. if you want to go for the record. So it's going to be an after-school activity. It's going to be a family learning activity. So it'll be an opportunity for schools to bring the families in to do this. It's in the States this year, which is different to other years. It'll be from 9 a.m. Pacific time to whatever it is, Eastern time. In the UK, it'll be 5 p.m. So in England, it's very common for us to do family activities after school. So that will work. We're quite excited about doing it that way. But that's only if you want to actually participate in the actual world record. For the rest of the day, you can just do it at whatever time you want, or you could do it at home at 6 p.m. European time, 5 p.m. because we'll be doing a Facebook Live, so anyone will be able to watch it and just join in for the fun of it. And anyone that does take a picture and send it to us, we will send you a certificate of participation. It's a PDF, so you can just print it out and just write the name in yourselves.
Perfect. Awesome. That's just fantastic. Naveed, I think maybe Caroline will answer your comment afterwards, because we really need to end. Activity for Sunday school children. Other than that, this was really fantastic. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun, and I think our viewers did too, and we learned so much. And I think what you're doing is really, really amazing, and you have so much courage and passion in it for you. It's absolutely brilliant. You're so inspiring. Thank you for taking the time to meet us here today, Caroline.
Thank you, Alex. It's been a delight.
For us too. Thank you so much. Okay, bye guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for staying and watching us too on a Friday evening. Bye.